This is the story of the teeny tiny little woman. Now, once upon a time, there was a teeny tiny little woman, and she decided that she was going to go for a teeny tiny little walk right before her teeny tiny supper. So she put on her teeny tiny gloves and her teeny tiny coat and her teeny tiny hat, and she went for her teeny tiny little walk. And as she was going down the road, she passed a teeny tiny little graveyard. And she happened to look over the fence, and right there was a teeny tiny little bone. And she said, "Oh my, a teeny tiny little bone that is perfect for my teeny tiny little soup." So she picked up the teeny tiny little bone, and she put it in her teeny tiny little handbag, and she took it home to her teeny tiny little house. When she got there, she took off her teeny tiny little gloves and her teeny tiny little coat and her teeny tiny little hat. And then she took her teeny tiny little bone and she put it in her teeny tiny little soup. And she stirred it up. And when she was done, she ate it. Oh, it was so yummy. And then she cleaned everything up and she rinsed off that teeny tiny little bone and she put it on a teeny tiny little shelf. And then, she discovered she was a teeny tiny little bit tired. So she decided to take a teeny tiny nap. And she went upstairs to her teeny tiny bed, and she got inside her teeny tiny little bed and pulled up her teeny tiny little covers and went to a teeny tiny little dreamland. But right outside her home, coming down the street, there was a teeny tiny little voice, and it said, "I want my tiny little bone." Oh my goodness. She sat up. Oh, who's there? Is there someone there? She listened, but she didn't hear anything. So she thought, I must have been having a teeny tiny little dream. And she laid back and she pulled up her teeny tiny little covers, and she was almost asleep again when right outside her front door she heard, "I want my tiny little bone." Oh my goodness. Is there someone there? Is there some... Oh, I must have been having another teeny tiny little dream. Silly me. And she pulled up her teeny tiny covers, and she was about to close her teeny tiny eyes when right outside her teeny tiny bedroom, she heard that teeny tiny voice, and it said, "I want my teeny tiny bone." And she sat up and she said, "You want your teeny tiny bone? Well, it's on the shelf. Get it yourself." And that is the story of the teeny tiny woman.